إن أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عجبا لأمر المؤمن إن أمره كله له خير إن أصابته ضر صبر فكان خيرا له وإن أصابته سر شكر فكان خيرا له وكما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Your brothers, sisters, and elders and youngsters in Islam, one of the biggest blessings that a man can ever be given, regardless of the nature of his life or her life, regardless if they're Muslim or not a Muslim, regardless if they're young or if they're old, if they're physicians or if they're engineers, if they're workers or labor workers, regardless of what they do in life, one of the greatest blessings that a man and a woman can ever be given is something that we call in our lingo an opportunity. An opportunity. Everything hinges and lingers upon opportunities. There are some who have all the degrees, will have all the work ethic, but they have never been given the opportunity. There are some who graduate and they go to their employer and they present their resume, and all they ask for is one chance. Just give me one opportunity to prove myself. Give me one chance to show you what I'm made of. And after this 1 month probational period, you make your decision. But give me an opportunity. Students that apply to schools, graduate schools, master programs, even undergrad programs, their only hope is to get one chance. And in that one opportunity, they either seize the moment or they either regress and fall back. Everything lingers and hinges upon opportunities. And that's how everything in life works, even sports. A person comes up because someone else got injured, they got an opportunity. And since they made the most of their opportunity, well, they still have a job. It all comes back down to an opportunity. My dear brothers and youngsters, if we understand this simple formula, let us use our intellect to recognize and comprehend the simple fact that Ramadan for us is an opportunity from Allah to be forgiven. It's an opportunity. It's a chance. It's a rope that has been sent down by Allah to every single Muslim. Take your opportunity and seize it by the horns. And if one has been given the opportunity, like anything else in life, and doesn't seize it, he regresses or she regresses. They move backwards. You can never remain stagnant in life. Either you're progressing or you're regressing. But this, my dear brothers and youngsters, is what we call an opportunity from Allah to be forgiven. How many people do we know? And this is without, I'm not sure about your community, just generally in every community, how many people do we know that were alive last year in the month of Ramadan, but are not alive this year? تزول من الدنيا فإنك لا تدري إذا جن عليك الليل هل تعيش إلى الفجر فكم من صحيح مات من غير علة وكم من سقيم عاش حين إلى الدهر. Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah says, how many people that were healthy died without any cause, without any upcoming alert? How many people were making their plans of what's going to happen when I become 20 years old, 25? Their future plans are being made. وَقَدْ قُبِضَتْ أَرْوَاحُهُمْ لَيْلَةَ الْقَدْرِ, and their lives are taken from them. How many people were alive a month ago and they're not alive today? This is what we call an opportunity. And Sahabas recognized the simple fact that Ramadan is an opportunity. So for 5 months after Ramadan, they were reminiscing and speaking, and the conversations were surrounding the beautiful days and nights of Ramadan. And 5 months before the month of Ramadan, all they would do is speak about the arrival of the month of Ramadan with so much excitement. They were elated, like a young couple plans for their wedding. How excited, how much excitement that they have. Let's do this, let's do that. They would plan their month of Ramadan to every small nick and knack of it. How is our month of Ramadan going to go by? And their excitement did not stop at excitement. Many of us get excited. We put up lights, we tell our co-workers, our employers, our employees, the people in our community, their excitement was not just an emotion. That's cheap. Their excitement came from that emotion and became a'mal for them. Their excitement turned into dua. Their excitement turned into tahajjud. Their excitement turned into tears. Their excitement turned into care. Their excitement turned into forgiveness of people. That was their excitement. And dear brothers and youngsters, the month of Ramadan, all throughout the history of Islam, has always been a month of special relief and victory. Has always been a month of special victory. The first Ramadan that was ever prescribed to the Muslim Ummah in Medina, in the first Ramadan of the history of Islam, the Prophet is telling his companions, let's go out, we have a battle to take care of. In the Battle of Badr. 313 versus 1,000 of these armed people of Makkah, the mushrikun of Makkah. And the Prophet makes the dua, Allahumma in tuhlik hadhihi al-isaba lan tu'bada fil ardi abada. That, oh Allah, if these people are destroyed, you will never be worshipped again. Take care of these people. And on the 17th night of the month of Ramadan, Allah brought His help down from the skies. And He says, وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. Allah gave you help whilst you were humiliated. Many of us feel humiliated. Many of us feel embarrassed. Many of us feel down. The 11 months of the year went by, and yet I still have not dropped a tear from my cheeks and my eyes. 11 months have gone by, and I struggle to pray 5 times salat. وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. The Sahabas and the Prophet were low. They were in need of help, and that's when the help of Allah came. So if someone says to us that, man, just because the month of Ramadan you're praying Fajr, or just because of the month of Ramadan you're putting on a hijab, or just because of the month of Ramadan you're doing this, that's a sign of Iman. That's not a sign of me being a bad person. That's a sign of me having Iman inside of me. At least I'm doing it in the month of Ramadan. The Battle of Badr took place in the month of Ramadan. The greatest conquest of the Muslim Ummah, being the conquest of Makkah, Fath of Makkah. After 8 years in Medina, being kicked out of his own blessed city, and reminiscing and always thinking about Makkah. The Prophet would, Aisha says, when the Prophet would think about Makkah, he would cry. It was his homeland. He would miss Makkah. He goes for Hudaybiyah and he's sent back. You can't come, go back. And then he comes back 1 year later for Fath Makkah, and he enters into the city with his head, Ali is saying, with such humility that his head is bouncing off his ride. Sometimes we do something for a little bit tahajjud, yeah. We don't say, Shaykh Hassan Ali says this, we don't say we pray tahajjud. What we say is that, last night in the masjid, at 3 a.m., this brother was praying tahajjud. What were you doing there, selling snacks? I mean, you were obviously praying tahajjud too. So we find ways to let people know about our good deeds, unfortunately. Where's the humility in that, huh? Nonetheless, the Prophet walks in and he conquers the city of Makkah in the last 12 nights of what? Of what? The month of Ramadan. Happens in the month of Ramadan. The Battle of Qadisiyah, one of the greatest battles the Muslims have ever fought, with 30,000 Sahabas against 70,000 Persians. And the Muslims became victorious in the month of Ramadan. We speak about Undulus in Spain, Tariq ibn Ziyad, the man with the flag, Tariq ibn Ziyad. When did this happen? Happened on the 19th of Ramadan. Happened in Ramadan. The Battle of we call it the Battle of Hayden. The Battle of Hittin was Salahuddin al-Ayyubi against the Crusaders, took place in the month of Ramadan. And I can give you countless examples. Aisha radiallahu anha was accused of the unspeakable act, and her bara'ah came from Allah in the month of Ramadan. Relief, victory has always been there for Muslims in the month of Ramadan. We have no battle to fight against others. We don't have to. We don't have an armor, and we don't have to go out. Our battle, dear brothers and elders and youngsters, is against our own nafs. Is against our own self-desires and self-inclinations. That in this month, am I able to become victorious over my temptations? Am I, as a youngster, able to become victorious over the idea of me protecting my eyesight? Am I able to become victorious over the idea of me listening to haram? For adults and elders, am I able to overcome the internal want and desire of gossiping and lying and speaking ill about other people in the month of Ramadan? Am I being victorious? Imam Ghazali rahimahullah says that if a person is able to conquer a habit in the month of Ramadan, it will remain with him throughout the entire year. And if a person is able to leave a bad habit in the month of Ramadan, Allah will make it easy for him to leave it throughout the entire year. Dear brothers and youngsters, the month of Ramadan, the word itself comes from the root letters of Ramadan, which means to burn. And many linguists say that it means to burn, i.e. burning your sins away, which is a valid interpretation of this word. But many other linguistics, and an opinion which I take very heavily, they say Ramadan, which means to burn away one's desires, which means to burn away one's cravings. That's what Ramadan is. You crave food, you can't have it. You crave to drink something, you can't do it. If in the month of Ramadan doing that which is permissible is impermissible, let us just think about that which is impermissible. How low can a person become to commit those acts and those faults? So dear brothers and youngsters, in this short reminder that I have, my objective was to remind every single one of us that it's easy in the month of Ramadan. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. Everyone loves shortcuts. Well, this is our shortcut. This is our battle. And our battle will continue all throughout the year. But in this month, we have no external. They don't have any external help. They don't have shaitan. It's only me against myself. Al-jihadu man jahada nafsahu. A person who completes the definition of jihad and striving is the person who works against his own nafs. And the way I tell my students, and the way I mention to other people as well, is just write down one negative habit that you've been completing, which you've been engulfed in throughout the year. One, just one. And throughout the month, make sure that just that other things you do, that one bad habit you're not doing. If that's missing salat, if that's lying, if that's backbiting, and add one good habit. If that's all we do in the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we were victorious in the month of Ramadan. We found relief in the month of Ramadan. And how the Prophet ﷺ walked in the first step of the member. He has a nice member over here. MashaAllah, he has a very big member over here, right? Only for big sheikhs. But the Prophet walked in the first step of the member, said Ameen. Walks in the second step, says Ameen. Walks in the third step, says Ameen. And the Sahaba see this to be something which was abnormal. It never happened before. And they ask him, Ya Rasulullah, ma fa'alta dhalik? Why did you do this for? And the Prophet says, in the first step that I walked upon, Jibreel alayhi salam came down from the heavens and made a dua. And he said, whosoever hears my blessed name, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and does not send durood upon me, he is mal'oon. And in one riwayah, he is the biggest loser. And then I said, Ameen. We walked in the second step and he said that whosoever finds his elderly parents alive and he does not earn Jannah, he is a big loser. The Prophet says, Man adraka abwayhi ahadahuma aw kilayhima falam yadkhul al-jannah raghima anfu rajul. May that man's nose be rubbed on the dirt. Meaning, may this person be disgraced all throughout his life. Who, Ya Rasulullah? Who is such a loser? A person who finds his parents at old age and is somehow not able to earn Jannah. It's a shortcut. Still not able to earn Jannah? What a loser that person is. May Allah protect us and our parents. The third person, he walks, Jibreel alayhi salam says, an individual who finds himself within the opportunity of the month of Ramadan. I'm saying opportunity myself. A person who finds himself alive in the month of Ramadan as an opportunity, and he leaves the month of Ramadan without being victorious, i.e. he leaves the month of Ramadan without being forgiven. He is a loser. He is a big loser. And the Prophet says, 4 people, and I'll finish on this. 4 people, despite what they do throughout the month of Ramadan, 4 types of people will not be forgiven. So make sure we're not amongst those 4 types of people. A person who is murtakib, who is an individual who is immersed in major sins. Not minor sins, major sins. Drinking and doing, may Allah protect us from major sins. Number 2, I won't speak about this much. Number 2, a person who is aqul walidain. A person who is disobedient to his parents. If an individual is disobedient, doesn't mean that you don't agree with everything. Disobedient means your parents are continuously and perpetually unhappy with you. You can have disagreements, but they cannot be unhappy with you. That individual will not be forgiven in the month of Ramadan. The riwayat in Tabrani. The third person, an individual, I can speak about this much longer, but I'll keep it short, who is a qutta'ur rahim, who cuts off ties of kinship. Cuts off ties of kinship. Now, this does not mean that every person in our family has to love us. But it means that if we see them, we can say salam to them, we can meet them with a smile, and we can truly show them love when we meet them. Doesn't mean that they have to love us. The last person مَنْ كَانَ فِي قَلْبِهِ غِشٌّ لِأَحَدٍ. An individual who has any form of animosity or ill feelings in his heart for other people. That person, the Prophet says, will live the entire month, but will leave with an empty check. Not a blank check, meaning write your own amount. I wish it was that. No, an empty check, meaning that you can't deposit it. It's nothing on there. So all the Taraweeh, it's like a person who goes to work 9 to 5 for an entire month. And at the end of the month, he goes to his employer and says, hey man, give me my check. And the employer says, you ain't got no check. There's no check for you. He says, what do you mean? I came every single day. You never clocked in. You never clocked in. And since you never clocked in, I don't have your hours. You don't have no proof. So you're not getting no check. Us clocking in the month of Ramadan means we've forgiven everyone. And we've let everything go. And we're able to continue adding a'mal to our life with leaving bad habits in our life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us realize the natural fabric of the month of Ramadan is a victory and relief. Naturally. We don't have to make much effort. It's naturally beautiful and it's naturally made easy for us. Sometimes there are 3 types. Sometimes places are blessed. Sometimes times are blessed. And at times a'mal are blessed. For example, Makkah and Medina are blessed places. Whenever you go there, it's a blessed place. The masjid is a blessed place. Whenever you come, it's a blessed place. And at times, there are specific times and durations in the day which are blessed. For example, Jum'ah is blessed. The month of Ramadan is blessed. The time between Asr and Maghrib is blessed. The time after Fajr is blessed. And sometimes a'mal are naturally blessed. In the month of Ramadan, all 3 are there. The month is a blessed time. The a'mal of Taraweeh and Siyam are blessed. And the place we are in is blessed. So it becomes that much easier for us to let go of negative habits and to emulate good habits into our life. And if we do so in the month of Ramadan, as I quote Imam Ghazali said, Allah will give us the ability to continue throughout the year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand this and convey to those who are not here. Wa akhu da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.